Welcome everyone to the fourth webinar in the LIGO-India webinar series on astrophotography, stargazing with LIGO-India. My name is Bharathan Chatterjee. I am chairperson of outreach at LIGO-India, and I'm also faculty at Ayuka in Pune in India. It is my great pleasure today to have with us Dorje Angchuk, who is one of my most favorite astrophotographers. So Dorje is an engineer in charge working for the Indian Institute of Astrophysics in Bangalore. He has been working at the site of the Indian Astronomical Observatory in Hanle for the last 23 years. He has a background in electronic and communication engineering from NIT Surat, and one of his passions is astrophotography. So in today's session, he's going to share with us his experiences and expertise in this field. What are the stories behind some of the amazing captures that he's going to show us. So Dorje, please take it away.
Yeah, hi, I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah, and visible also.
Right.
I'll start my share my screen. Where is that? Hold on.
Would you like to take questions at the end of the session, or is it okay if people can ask you?
I think end of the session will be much better.
Okay, sure.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Bharathan, thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, everybody. My name is Dorje Angchuk. I'm the engineer in charge, as you already told. So, along with my job at the observatory, astrophotography is one of my hobbies. And I have learned it from Mr. Ajay Talwar, and then he was my mentor, and I can see he's also in the audience. Thank you, Ajay, for teaching me all this. And today I will be discussing. I will be telling you all about my story, about my journey to Phuktal, which till Zanskar, myself, Vikas Chandra, who is also here, and Pranav did. So basically, I'll first give an introduction why astrophotography, and this is the image, as you can see, of the Phuktal Monastery. So, what happened? So, astrophotography for me is an extension of what our eyes can see and beyond. So the aim is to showcase what is there, and but we are constrained by the limited sensitivity of our eyes. But we can, with a camera, we can open the shutter for more than 20-30 seconds and showcase a more beautiful nightscape. Nightscapes gives another dimension to the picturesque landscape of, in fact, of everywhere, Ladakh, not seen earlier. And along with the good transparency, the frame is filled with interesting detail. So in Ladakh, if you come with a photographer, you can become easily a photographer if you come with a camera. So that is because of the transparency. And the best thing about astrophotography is that most of the iconic locations that are filled with too much tourist people during the day, but at night the place is often all yours, and it can give a better perspective. And the best thing about the astrophotography is, for me, is like it has taken me to exotic location which was unthinkable earlier, just like this place, Phuktal, which is in Zanskar Valley, and it is maybe around 40 to 50. I could not check because of time constraint. And for this, I will tell you all the stories. We had to do some tracking, etc. And the camera technology around 2010, it changed completely, and we were able to showcase more of the nightscapes also. So that was the good thing that happened around 2010. Even in fact, Ajay Talwar gave me the first camera. He brought it along with him in around 2010-11. So this is the morning view when I woke up and at the Phuktal Monastery. So this is where I was put up. So So why Phuktal? Why am I sharing this story about Phuktal? Because what happened around 2017 in Leh market, I saw a very beautiful picture of this Phuktal monastery, and there was a Milky Way behind the same. So that was the starting point when I thought, okay, oh, we should also do astrophotography. And when I searched, there were many composite image, and then they were showing waterfalls from this side of the monastery where there is a spring. So there is a natural spring here, which the monks living in this monastery, they draw all their water resources from. So that was that few images like prompted me that definitely we should go to Bhuktal and we should showcase the nightscape. And upon further checking, because as you know, in astrophotography we need to have lot of planning. So after that we did some Vikas also did some research, and I did some research. Then we found that the Milky Way was not falling just behind at all, because this was in the northwest direction, and so Milky Way core can never be in this direction. But that was the impetus or whatever of why we want to go to Phuktal. So I sent a message to Vikas that and Pranav that we should do this Zanskar trip. So and then he said, okay, next time, okay, next year we will in 2018 we will definitely do, and we started planning for the same. It so happened we planned it around May first to second week. So on also it happened that one of my training in my college and my office training happened to be at the same place, same time in Pune. So like for me it was very difficult uh, to actually collide the dates or make it exact. So finally what happened, we shifted the dates, and then when I was coming back from Pune, I just directly landed at Leh airport, and we together we went directly to Kargil, not even meeting my own family after the training. So in all this case, actually, I'm very much thankful to my family for supporting me and giving me the permission to go to this dream location, which we always wanted to do. So after that, straight from the airport, we went to Kargil, and we halted at Panikhar, where we found a rest house. And then that evening, we were supposed to photograph the Nunkun peaks, but then it was snowing, and it snowed very heavily throughout the night. So then what happened that next day, because we cannot do that, so we started towards Zanskar, and from Panikhar, we crossed another glacier, Parkachi glacier, and then we reached Rangdum. Rangdum is a very nice village just before the Penzilla. So what happened is that there was a lot of snow, and there was also this thing advisory that we should not go there. So in my thinking of Zanskar trip was completely different from my friends. So for me, Zanskar trip was Bhuktal Monastery and other monasteries. But Vikas and Pranav they did some good research, and which I didn't knew at that time. Their main motive was Drangdung Glacier and Nunkun Peaks, and obviously Zanskar will come in the way. Because it was heavily snowed there, so we reached around lunchtime, and then we started climbing the Penzilla. And then when we started climbing, we were the only one who were actually climbing it because of snowfall. That happened because all the our support staff, that is the chauffeurs and our cooks, they were all from Zanskar. So I told them we will go to Zanskar. They said yes. So we started climbing, and it was very slippery, dangerous. And then I was asking them whether we can do it. They said yes, yes, because they were also trying to go to Zanskar as soon as possible, because we don't know. And luckily that year, that road from Kargil to Zanskar, that opened quite early. So there was also chance maybe that we may get stuck with more snow. So what happened? We did all the things. We started the climb. We even pushed the vehicle, shovel all the snow from the road, put dust, and finally it was impossible. And then at 9 o'clock, I told the word that my friend still jokes me about that. I said that we are retreating, and then they were surprised that why at this time why is he telling that we have to retreat. Then we came back, and we could save. Thankfully, we could save. Uh, Come back to Rangdum, and then we were in Rangdum for another 1 or 2 days. That's what I remember. So Rangdum is a very beautiful place, and it was also good that we could stay there and we could take some beautiful pictures. So this is one of the pictures that I took of the Rangdum marshes. So that's what happened for the next 2 days, and then on the third day, so uh, we started from the Rangdung glacier, that is the Penzilla. So it was, and we also got to know that the Penzilla Pass has opened now, and then we went to Rangdung. So Drangdung was a very beautiful location. So this is the image from Drangdung Glacier. So you can see this is one of the longest glacier in the world. And so from this is the way to Zanskar, and I could get this 360-degree panorama uh, for that night, and it was a very fantastic night. None of us slept, and then we camped in the snow behind a rock, and it was uh, quite exciting. And we didn't feel much cold, obviously me, but others might have felt. So we finished the Rangdung, and then we started off to Padum. So the next day we reached Padum around like afternoon, and then we went to this location called the Bharathan Monastery. So this is a very beautiful monastery just on a hillock. So this is our friend Pranav. He's making a time lapse of the thing. So we reach before it is sunset. So and then while it was becoming evening, we decided that myself and Pranav will go on the other side to click this monastery, while as Vikas told that he will stay back and he won't go to the other side. And then we got some lights along with it to showcase the monastery. And so here we are on the other side. That's where Pandab was staying. I was taking picture of Pandab somewhere on this side. So this is the image that we got from the Bardhan Monastery that night. So then the next night we came back, because we came as a team, and we were like we will go together wherever we want. And we also came to know there is a lot of track involved to Phuktal Monastery. So the next morning, Vikas and Pranav suddenly decided, okay, our trip to Zanskar won't be complete if we won't be able to cover Phuktal. So he said that if you want to go, you can go. So actually, that was quite exciting to me, because I always, for me, Zanskar was like more like Phuktal Monastery and nothing else. So the next day I started around 11 o'clock to Phuktal Monastery. It lies on the same road from Bardhan Monastery, and this is the Serap River, which is, this valley is called Lungnak Valley. That is the Black Valley. So this is the path to the Phuktal Monastery, and so I had a camper, and I had a accomplice. His name was Tashi from Rangdun, and he was like all in one. He was the driver, he was the guide for me, and he was a friend, and he was assisting me also. So so the next day at 11 o'clock we started, and before starting, Vikas was very kind to lend me the 14 mm Sigma lens, and he also gave me 2 battery packs, which are like around 1 to 2 kg each. So I said that I am taking one. He said that no, you should take 2. I said, why should I take 1? He said that they should. That's the one thing I learned from him. He said that there should always be a backup of backup. That's the first thing. So I had to carry 2 battery of that size in my bag. And then I was in my bag, I was also carrying 2-3 lenses, two cameras in the back and one on my neck. So we started off for the journey, and Tashi was also carrying some utensils to cook in case we don't find anything on the way, and some eatables, sleeping bags, 2 tripods. One tripod I was having, one tripod he was carrying. So we started for Phuktal, and the drive was around around 3:30 till 3:30. We was driving around. So this was the beautiful drive that on the way, and the actually the color of the water was emerald blue. It was so beautiful all the way, and this is particularly found before it rains, and it is all the time there. So this is the way where we drove, and we suddenly at this point I thought, is the road coming to end, or will we be able to cross it, or this is here the road. And this on the other side you can always find this is the actually the trekking route. So this is quite narrow, as you can see. So the same also continues. So along the way I found I thought I'm the only person who's going to, but then there are some other trekkers also, which I was surprised to see, and they were crossing this bridge, and there's a very lovely bridge, all ropeways etc., and locally made, because all this time they cannot bring heavier iron material which they can make the bridge. So this was the last village, I think that Purni or something, that was the name. So this is where the BRO, Border Road Organization, all their camps and their missionaries, they were held. And somewhere around we had to stop because the road was not going further from here. So we parked our cars here, and we started our trek, and which was before the village called Dorje. And when we safely parked the car on a site so that the missionaries can work, because we didn't know whether we will be coming back or not. So upon descending from the car, I just happened to meet 2-3 locals, and then I asked him, from this point, how long does it take to reach Phuktal? He said that for a local it takes 2 hours. So I was quite happy. Okay, we are around like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and then with 2 hours we will easily reach Phuktal, and then it will be 6. It will be before dark. We can take some beautiful golden hour image, etc. But then I didn't realize that he was telling this 2 hour if one is walking fast, briskly walking without any luggages. But we both of them were having quite heavy luggages. So our trek started from here, and so this is the path for the trek. I can see monk coming, and from here we go. Then this is the another trek, the path that is coming, and the beautiful Serap River is there. So this is the last village before the trek, and this village is called Cha. It is actually the block headquarter. I was actually surprised that there is no road, but then still they call it the block headquarter of that place. So this is the rest house, but this is just for showing it. We didn't stop there. So after crossing Cha village, I just happened to see this blue sheep. So I heard a blue sheep. So like I was very happy that okay, oh, blue sheep is there. So there's normally this saying that if blue sheep is there, snow leopard will be around. So we started the walk after seeing and photographing this one. Hold on, there is another. Okay, and then after walking some distance, then we met a villager, and he was dragging a goat along with him. That goat. So upon inquiry, we were curious, and we inquired with him, what exactly is this? He said that snow leopard killed it. So he is bringing it back for their own consumption. So at that moment, I was very happy and I was frightened at the same time. Happy because I thought snow leopard would be an added bonus for me in this trip. And I was frightened also, but if it just suddenly turns up and we are caught in some uh, uh, situation. So that was that, and then we started the trek further, and we had our lunch there, which was packed lunch, and then we started off. So after that thing, um, that that was the main track. From here to Fuktal was like another uh, 2 hours that happened to us, and it was very steep. And then the descent from that the path to the river was like around 300 to 400 meters deep, and the path was so narrow that it was very difficult to walk. So I forgot taking any pictures in between. So I kept on walking, and there was also some wind also. So because of the heavy load, I was thinking if it is like a gush of wind comes, then I can easily fall, and none of my bones will be like all the bones will get fractured. So and then on the same path, we met two people crossing. The path was so narrow that I said that I won't take the risk and go the other side. So I leaned on the mountain, and like it was very difficult for them to pass. I was like, oh, thank God I'm safe and not I didn't um, fall down. So from there we reach the Fuktal Monastery, and it was like around 7 o'clock. So very unfortunately, it was totally cloudy, and this is the image from that evening. And by the time from this location of the picture, we reached the first house. It started snowing also. So it was around 7 p.m. And around so after that we entered this the monastery, and the monks welcomed us, and they were kind enough to give us a room here, as I showed you earlier. So, and they also gave us some, we call it khambir, that is bread, 4 numbers, and we ate and slept around 9 o'clock. And we told each other, myself and Tashi, that we will keep on looking at outside. So if the sky clears, then we will wake up each other. So, and we were very much tired because of all the extra baggage, backpacks and etc. And then we slept off, and suddenly at the middle of the night at 1 o'clock, I could hear Tashi telling me, okay, now we should wake up because now it has cleared up. So I just saw from the window and saw everything is cleared up. And then we came out, and we did all the setups. And suddenly, when I looked back at the monastery, I saw the monastery was fully glittered with light, which I never expected in this location. And it was totally brightened. So that is actually in astrophotography, we get turned off when there is light, because we want to extract many details from the foreground, from the stars. So if some light is there, it's like it will be blown out. So then I asked Tashi that is it possible you can locate where the solar power plant is and switch it off. He went inside, and then he said that he came back telling that no, I could not find him. So I told him that, can you do one thing, just try to switch off whatever the lights you can see, and then we will then figure it out. Then he went again, and then he switched off some lights, but he could not. We could not switch all of the lights. So, and then the next thing we did was I put one of my camera on a time lapse with the 14 mm Sigma lens, and then it was working automatically for that time lapse sequence. But that was my first time lapse in a night sequence, so it did not came out well. Whereas with the other Canon 6D, I was able to take this picture. So this picture is actually a panorama of 3 layers into eight pictures through a 24 mm lens. So you can see the Bhuktal Monastery here, and there is a village here, and the river nicely bending the Sirap River nicely bending with its color being shown. So I was able to take this picture, and once that was completed, so I started my exposure for the. I said that I should have Phuktal Monastery in a much tighter view. So then when I took this exposure, and I found basically I wanted to have more of the foreground also. So I also learned around the time that we can do uh, exposure stacking also. So I took this exposure. This is around 120 seconds at 400 ISO aperture. I don't remember, but because this whatever lens, most of the lens I have is manual lens. So later, and I always forget to make a note of it. So it must be around 1 point something like 1.82. So I was able to collect this uh, beautiful foreground here through this image. And then as you know, Photoshop is a very powerful tool, and blending itself is very, very powerful. So you can blend it very well. So the next image I was able to take uh, with a shorter exposure. It is around 15 seconds at ISO 400. So this I was able to take, but I don't know why I didn't took at that time shorter exposure than that. So this, and then I took some 10 shots for the sky, which is like so that I can stack the Cassiopeia, Andromeda, etc. After that, I took 10-second ISO 1200, 12,800, 10, and I stacked it. And later I could also, it also happens that I don't process it very immediately. So I just keep it lying like that. I forget about all the images that I have taken, and then suddenly after 1 year, I realized that I have something from the Phuktal Monastery which I need to showcase. And suddenly I realized that I have this one, and while exploring, I got this one, and I processed it, and this is the resulting image that you've seen earlier, which I got from here. So this is like what I was very happy with the result, although you can see there is some blown out portion. But I always felt that we should go back once more, and actually and switch off the lights before we take some beautiful image of this monastery. And then it was morning, and we were again invited by the monks in the kitchen for a breakfast, and we didn't slept after that, because 1 o'clock we woke up. And there in the kitchen, the young monks were preparing the breakfast, and I was trying to click some pictures with my mobile, and there was this very young naughty monk. He was like around 5 years old or smaller. He was just sitting near me, beside me, and he was peeping what actually I am doing. So I told him that, see, I'm taking this picture. He said that, okay, show me your mobile. I never thought that. It was quite surprise to me when he took the mobile from me. He said that, where is the WhatsApp folder? So he had come to know that, that there are a lot of things in WhatsApp folder that you can see, which was very surprising to me. And so from there, uh, we finished off, and we thanked the all the monks for the kind hospitality, and the walk back to this to Padum to the place where we had parked our camper was around 4 hours, because while going back it was the steep climb. So that finished my thing, and thank you. I hope I've not bored everybody with my dull storytelling.
Well, thank you very much for sharing these very intricate details with us. But
Yeah,
I would like to ask many questions about these actually. So first of all, you have
yeah.
mentioned many of the challenges that you faced. For so how what is the altitude? So I know that this is one of the highest uh, deserts in the world, right, Ladakh? So this place, what is the altitude?
This place is not much. I think it's not so much because Zanskar is actually lower than Leh, etc. So we were climbing a little bit, but I guess the altitude will be like around 13,000 or something like feet. Little this actually monastery will be higher than Leh.
And what would be the temperatures like that you had to deal with?
Oh, it was May and it was very. It was not in negative, just around zero, I think. But at Penzilla, it was very cold. It was definitely negative, -5 to 10. -10 is what I remember. And now, just while you're the first question, this monastery will be higher because this is the same river, the Chepak River, which actually meets at Leh. So, because of the descent, it will be like more than 15,000 to 16,000 feet. The altitude will be. Yeah.
Okay. So there are a lot of challenges of astrophotography in these conditions, these extreme conditions. So you already talked about carrying these heavy batteries and extra lenses, right? So how about the setup? Like, did you have to carry tripods, and how did you manage
Yeah,
to?
yeah. That is like there are like quite a few essential gears: camera, lens, tripod, interval meter if you want, and torch is a must in all those conditions. So these are the essential things. Other than that, there are desirable things like you have to carry extra storage, you have to carry extra batteries, and extra clothing is always there
So you
because
had to
most
carry.
of the time astrophotography is done in night time, so it's definitely colder.
Right, right. And also like you had to carry, so this place is very arid, right? So you had to carry like food, water, supplies,
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
clothing,
Yeah.
even your tents and everything. So along with your
Uh,
equipment.
yeah, we were carrying a tent, but we didn't use it. We were carrying a kerosene stove with the kerosene and water also, and along with the utensils to cook and some like Maggie stuffs only. But we didn't need because the monks were very like they were very kind to give us all the food.
Okay, okay. And you are well acclimatized because you are from the region. For people who are not from here, like you said, you suddenly went back from Pune directly here. So did anyone have to like go through acclimatization? Did that take you more time to
No,
adapt?
no. This is a very wrong conception that people have that local does not need acclimatization. No, locals also need acclimatization. In fact, I don't move out of my house for 1 day at least, and I don't go higher for 2 days. I acclimatize. There's this rule: if you even if you are local, if you go out of your of Ladakh for more than 2 weeks, then you have to acclimatize. So that day we directly went because we knew that we are driving lower altitude. Kargil is a lower altitude than Leh, so that's why. And we had less number of uh, uh, what do you call holidays or for the hobby. So that's why we went directly.
Okay, okay. You also mentioned snow leopards and other challenges. So yeah, this is
Yeah.
very exciting. I will look at the questions. So there are some people who made comments in the chat box. So Vikas writes that he can see Andromeda in the picture. Urjit says, why did you pick this specific place for photography?
Yes. Yeah. That's the main point. Because first of all, like we were intrigued by the uh, Milky Way behind the Bhutan Monastery, and also uh, for astrophotography, we always need something to look up because we are looking at the sky. So a monastery or a cave like this is the most intriguing thing, or most the well placed foreground for an nightscape which we take care. And also till then I didn't, on the internet I didn't find any night sky images of Phuktal monastery anywhere. So that was one of the reason that we have to do this one, and it was a good event for us.
There are some questions from earlier chat. So EXIF for the picture. So maybe you can say something about the image format.
Yeah. I told you this is actually taken with an Canon 60, and the lens was used as Rokinon 24 mm. And as I was telling you, all the foreground has been brought in by with an exposure of 120 seconds. That's 2 minutes. And this dark area, the exposure was only 15 seconds. And the sky, I got it from 10 exposures of 10 seconds each, and I stacked them. They were at ISO 12800, 12,800. For this thing, the ISO was 400. Yeah, I think that should be so. And the, I think F number was like around 2. That's what I should suppose, because we always find that if I go to the lowest F number, then there will be always be a comma. So I would have actually gone 2 steps down. So that will be 2.
If you have more detailed questions, you can put your hand up on Zoom, and I will read out the questions in the chat box in the meantime. So Rohit asks, which is the best month to do astrophotography in Ladakh? When do you get most clear skies?
In Ladakh, it's all the year round. But what is the kind of astrophotography you want? If you want to do Milky Way photography, it's like from March till November when the core is there. Otherwise, also you can do the other side of Milky Way. So, and also because if you are coming from other places, then it will be very cold. So obviously, summertime will be very good place. You can just try to avoid the monsoon season. Although we are in like cloud shadow region, but then because you are coming from so far, so there will be a possibility that may be clouded for 1 or 2 nights, like what happened with us also at Panikar. And Panikar, yeah, that's happened. 2-3 nights wasted there also while coming back to. And the best thing, if you don't want to miss any night, you come from September to November. It is the best time. There will be less cloud.
Nice. Arun asked, have you tried going after DSOs?
Actually, yeah. I tried one. I tried many times, but the thing for me is that I love doing nightscapes more, because I can showcase the beautiful landscape of my own place along with the night sky. So that has kept me more or less busy to the hobby. So I haven't gone too much into it, but I have some setup. And also I find that the learning curve of DSO is too high for me right now with all the workload. So definitely in future I may try.
Nice. So Vikas also asked, how much is availability of internet? So I think maybe not during the night watching sessions.
Yeah, and hi Vikas. So the availability of internet, where do you mean in Phuktal there is no internet available? I no, even the phone lines is not there, but it may have come after this. This image was taken in 2018, as you know. So now I think they have made a road also, like you don't have to travel much. So that's a good thing for you. You can come and take better photographs me, as I know.
Okay, there are more questions, but maybe Shruti has her hand up. Shruti, do you want to ask the question? Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if they can point out Andromeda Galaxy in this photo.
Yeah, this is the Andromeda. This is
Okay.
Andromeda. Can you see it?
Thank
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Cassiopeia constellation. One
Okay.
star is missing. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, Vijay Kumar is asking, which star maps do you use for stargazing and astrophotography?
I use Stellarium all the time. It is there in my desktop as well as my mobile also. But there are other I think you can use PhotoFills if you are on Apple. And I also use the photographer FMS if I want to find on desktop only. If I want to find the moonset, moonrise, sunset, sunrise timing. So those are the things that I use.
Okay, Salil Gharpure asks, how often do you use the tracker for astrophotography?
Oh yeah, quite often. I use it very often whenever I want to get more details from the sky. I use a Vixen Polari tracker, and basically a Vixen Polari can handle a wide angle lens which are lighter than the telephoto lens that are used in DSO. So I tried once using 300 Nikon lens on the Vixen Polari tracker, and I was very much scared. But then I wanted to have this very beautiful image that you can see in my Facebook or of the comet Neowise over the Indian Astronomical Observatory, Hanle. So that was the only time, and I will never try it again because I may the tracker may get some malfunction.
Okay, there are a lot of people who have sent thanks to you. So Salil Gharpure writes, thank you so much for the informative session. Lai Shangbam Chanu Sonia. Okay, Sonia writes, greetings from Manipur. Thank you, sir, for this lively talk and magnificent picturesque landscape, taking all the way to this beautiful Phuktal Monastery. Divya Hungun says, beautifully captured.
Thank
Okay,
you.
there is a question from Arun. So as an urban imager focusing mainly on DSOs based out of South India, we have very limited availability of clear skies. So have always wished to travel to Ladakh to image. Are there any recommendations to someone like me? I'll probably be traveling with my OTA, battery mount, etc.
Yeah, I think in Ladakh, basically, uh, basically, it's all about location and clear skies and dark skies. So if you come to Ladakh and if you're just away uh, 4 to 5 kilometers or even 10 to 15 kilometers away from the glare of Leh city, uh, all of Ladakh place is like beautiful, and you can do DSO from any place in Ladakh.
There is also a suggestion to make it a deep sky imaging observatory, right? So I think it's a like.
Yeah, we are planning Hanle Dark Sky Sanctuary at Hanle. So there will be one for only outreach. That's what we have in the limelight, this path. But basically, the other problem is that at Hanle the internet is not very stable, so we cannot have something like that, which people can use from other places.
Arun also writes a continuation to the above question. Are there specific regulatory approvals needed to travel? Also, is it generally safe to attempt to travel to remote locations by myself to image?
Yeah, no, very recently the district UT administration has they have actually they are now allowing everybody without any permit. So all you need is an identity card to go to any places, except obviously if you go to border areas, then you will be caught. Otherwise, there is no problem. So you can always come visit Ladakh.
Harit, Paurana, do you want to come online? I mean, do you want to ask directly? Because he has a lot of questions. How exactly do you create a sequenced time lapse? What camera settings would one use? A lot of questions. What is
yeah, I'll try to. How exactly do you create a sequence time lapse? What camera settings one use? See, basically, I have done only very limited time lapse. There are so basically, whenever I try to do it, like we always, my mentor Ajit Talwar always told me that you have to always look for the histogram. So basically, we have to go with the histogram and look how exactly it's moving towards the black point. So and then it should be separated from the back, a little bit from the black point of the histogram, and then you can then fiddle with the ISO, your aperture and your exposure, so that you get the correct settings. And here I will also recommend the rule of 500. So that is the you have to, it's 500 divided by the focal length. So whatever the result you get, that is the exposure you should do. What is the best focal length for landscape astrophotographs? For me, I find that 24 mm is the best lens. I also have a 14 mm, but there's too much, it becomes wide. So, and also there I got many result where I use 35 mm, and you get more details in 35, but then for the same thing you have to stitch it, and hence tracking may not be possible in that situation. So, okay, I was confused between two lenses in particular. I don't know. I don't know much about the other thing. I only know Rokinon, Samyang, etc. So I was confused between two lenses, particularly 12 to 24 mm f1 and a 14 mm f1.8. Which one would you do? This is for a Sony full frame camera. See, that is the thing. All this manufactured lens by Sony, Nikon, Canon, they are very expensive. And for a hobbyist like me, I never go to that point to purchase it. So I will always find for astrophotography, so the Rokinon, Samyang, they are like 1/3 of the price, and they give the desired result. And recently, I have a 24 mm f1.8 for Sony, which I will recommend. This is a very good lens, and it has got like it is actually made for astrophotography, and you can have infinite focus also, so you don't need to have you don't need to spend much time on the focusing. Are there any tips and tricks for post processing that you would use and suggest? Blending is very powerful. Please see, there's a lot of tutorials on the internet, and that is the one thing that I can suggest. How exactly do I go about exposure stacking? So basically, that is also what I told you. This is all about blending and masking in Photoshop. Enough tools are available, which I cannot show it now, because this session is for just behind the stories of an image. What tool software do you use for post processing? I use Photoshop, and for stacking I use Sequator, which is free, and the DSS is also free. So that can be used. And for StarTrails is there. See, what camera specs would you suggest for? So whatever camera or lens you have in your hand, that is the best thing for landscape astrophotography camera. Okay, thank you. Yeah, any other thing?
Thanks a lot for answering all the questions.
Yeah.
So there is one more question. Do you conduct full night sky gazing informative session with telescope for tourists?
Not right now, but yeah, in future we have some plans to do it in Hanle. We don't conduct it right now because we don't have a telescope.
Nice. How to do astrophotography of Crescent Nebula from Hanley?
I'm sorry, I'm not the right person to answer that question, so I will skip it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, other than this, there are a lot of thank you messages. So Thinle Chopa says very informative webinar. I'm a huge fan of your astrophotography. Keep sharing beautiful nightscapes.
Thank you very much, Arjun. We say
Mandeep,
July tweet. Yeah.
yes. Mandeep
Yeah.
says great session, Dorje. Hope to meet you soon in Hanle.
Thanks, Mandeep.
Yeah, and a lot of thank you messages from different people. Pradeep Chakraborty from Aries writes, good evening. So
Good evening. Good
yeah,
evening.
and a lot of messages like Dorji is the master of astro from Vikas Chanda. So if there are no, so I think Vikas raised his hand. Maybe you can unmute yourself. I think maybe this can be the last question.
Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, can visitors do any activity at Hanle? I mean, can they use any infrastructure out there? I don't know much about it, so I'm just asking.
See, the question is like there's a big question. What facility you want to use? See,
no, so basically, as an astronomy enthusiast, is anything possible for a visitor to Hanle to do anything out there?
See, you can visit. See, all the telescope can be seen and visited during the daytime. You can come, but nighttime, since this is a research grade telescope, so it is controlled from Bangalore and IIT Mumbai, the other one. So it is out of bond and prohibited to come here. And if you want to do some deep sky, obviously we may help putting up in our campus at base camp, and we can provide some electricity. That's all. Yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks you very much. So some people ask about LIGO-India outreach activities. So yeah, so this webinar series and the other outreach activities that we are conducting, you can follow the LIGO-India social media pages on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, or on our website. We have a blog as well, which explains physics, astrophysics in a very simple way. So follow our social media pages to find out more about this. And this session also, the recording will be put up on YouTube. There is a playlist for the astrophotography webinar series as well. So if you want, we can put up Dorji's contact details there on our social media pages. So if you have more questions, you can contact him directly. Yeah, I think there are a few more questions, but we will have to wrap up. So Arun says, you mentioned Basecamp. Is there some contact information available online?
No. We don't have, but yeah, you can visit my social media pages, and we can discuss more about it.
Sure, we'll do that. We will give out the information along with the recording of this session. So thank you very much, Dorje, for sharing these wonderful experiences. I am already dreaming and planning of going there for both trekking and astrophotography. So I'm sure all the people who are present today benefited very much from this interaction session. So thank you very much once again to also the team LIGO-India outreach, and to all the audience spectators who are here today, the participants, and again to you, Dorje. Thank you very much.